Okay, so alright guys, so in last session like we have learned about zero shot prompting. Okay, and like in this session we are going to learn about one shot prompting. So this is like we can say a breeze between zero shot prompting and few shot prompting. So one shot prompting basically tells like we have, whenever we ask something to AI, we have to at least provide one example, so which will help AI to understand better context and the response, that how he has to respond, right? So in example, like I'll show like basically what one shot prompting tells. Like one shot prompting is a technique where you provide a single example of to teach an AI model how to perform their task. Okay, this single demonstration helps the model understand the desired format, a style and approach before generating its own response. So basically like in zero shot prompting, what we used to do, like we just have to ask the question, and based on the training of the model of the AI, they respond us. But in one shot prompting, basically we have basically trained our model to respond in some specific pattern. So even in this case, like we will get the consistent response. Like whenever we are going to ask something, we will get the consistent like response every time. It will not be inconsistent. Okay, and the pattern that we are asked to follow our AI, they will get to teach from that example, and they're going to respond in a similar way. Okay, so if I'll show some example like what basically we are going to use in our example part when we are doing one shot prompting. So basically we basically provide some format, like how will we output should be looks like in case of some our API response. So we want some JSON format should be in this way, or we want some XML format of our response. So in that way, like we have to teach with one example, and same way like whenever going to ask some different question, like AI will going to respond in the same format only. And we can also provide some tone, like how their voice, like what will writing a style of the response. So that we can also include our single prompting. Okay, and like we can also give some few details, like how we are going to research about the question that I'm going to asking. Okay, based on that then just respond back, right? And we can also give some pattern, like in this pattern, or like some design pattern, we can say like let's suppose we want to write a resume. So we will provide a pattern, okay, like how resume will look like after the response. So let's say I have a center, like I have given example of XYZ person whose resume got shortlisted in XYZ company. So I just want to create in same format for my resume. So I'll provide that resume as pattern to our AI, and then we'll ask to create my resume in the same way, like they will going to generate like a resume for us, right? So that is basically one example we are going to provide in one shot prompting. Okay, so always like be remember, like whenever we are going to provide one example, that should be a high quality. And if we going to give some poor example, that will also mislead our AI to respond back, right? Okay, so basically using that once example, like our AI will learn some pattern, like how basically input needs to be analyzed, how output needs to be returned, what were the pattern that basically user wants. Okay, that will get to apply on the response whenever they are going to respond. Okay, so let's say one example here, I have a pattern. So let's say we have given input hello in capital letter, and output we want in a small case. So from next onward we are going to ask just convert text into lowercase, so it will show in this pattern. Okay, so let's come to our screen part. Okay, so this is our VS Code. So let's create one more okay, one file here. Fine, so I'm going to just take the same reference. Okay, now for the one shot prompting. Okay, but anyway, this is default that we need to use in order to call our like OpenAI API, right? In order to use any model. So for now, like we are going to use same model. You can update, as I told, like from where you can update based on your requirement. So for now, like I'm going to write one shot prompting example. Okay, so here, so we'll give example first. Okay, so let's say one example. We have a question. Okay, not in essay. Let's say I asked a question as what is 2 plus 2, just an example. Okay, so answer it will return uh, not 4. I just want a pattern 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay, one example I have given. Now I'll give a task. I need to disable this autocorrect. Now task I'll give to AI. Question, what is 3 plus 3? So it will follow the same pattern and it will give the response back to us. Okay, so now let's run this once. We are going to run our one shot prompt here. Okay, it is fine. It should be 3, not 2. So for multi-line comment, basically we are going to use 3. Hold on, right? Now let's try. Yeah. So yeah, here you can see like it is responding in a similar way that the way that I teach, right? Like answer I want 2 plus 2 is 4. Similar way, when I asked what is 3 plus 3, it is responding in the same pattern, right? So if I'll let's say if I just write 4 here in example, so how it should return now? It will actually 6, right? In that case, you can see, yeah, it is giving the same pattern. Now let's say like this is not only applicable for plus. If you're thinking, if I'm giving multiplication, like even in that case they are going to return in similar way, like direct answer they are going to return, because we have asked in a similar pattern. Okay, now let's say I want the answer in the JSON format. Okay, so JSON format, let's say I want answer equals to 4, this way. Okay, now let's see how it will respond. It should return JSON format as. So yeah, here you can see like we are getting the JSON format. So by giving one example, like we are basically training our model how basically you have to respond, how basically user wants to get their response. That basically one prompt is a one shot prompt is used to do, right? Okay, if I'll show some few more example, so let's say what I'll go with, okay, so just say my question is tell me about history of India. Okay, this will be my question. Now we'll ask, we'll answer it should provide in the way write history of India, and let's say I'm taking this part. Okay, and I want following this pattern, like we'll have some paragraph spaces between every statement, right? I want in that way. This we want. Now like I'm going to ask history. Now I'll ask what is history of let's say Nepal. Okay, let's see how it will return. Now just run this command. So I did the same pattern, it should return. So yeah, here you can see we are getting a history of Nepal, and similar way they are separating each statement the way that I have given the example, right? In the similar pattern like AI is following, because the same example we have given. Okay, so that's what the use of one one shot prompting. In the next video we will going to see some more example if we are going to give that how it will react. Like I have showed you some live examples, right? So now let's come to this document part. So like what basically it helps in, it is basically improving the formatting of our response, right? So it provide like a structure, like as I showed you, we can get the JSON object if we want CSV files, some table structured XML, anyway pattern, then we can ask them and they will respond in same pattern only. Before that, if we don't provide any example, then they will give like some random response, right? The way that they are trained. But we are going to teach our AI model like we need the pattern of the response in this way only, then it will provide in that only. So it will remain consistent, like whenever you are going to ask, it will remain consistent. Okay, that's what we can provide a length, we can provide template, like we can provide a category, you can like map that. Let's say we have asked something, what is the category of that one, you can ask in that way as well, okay, by giving some one example. So if we talk about real world examples of one shot prompting, so as I told, like resume creation, we will provide some users resume format. Same way we are going to ask to create for mine, and they are going to like trained with this example and going to generate for us in a similar way. Okay, same way SQL edition, we want formatted SQL queries to be generated from the like our AI model, then we have to give the example. Similar way they are going to give the formatted one. For UI generation, like how basically like HTML div will divide the pattern, the border, the image size and all, that we're going to train with our one example. And the same way, like whenever we're going to ask to create some UI for the same structure, they will going to use the same pattern. Okay, so these are the basically basic examples that mostly we are going to use for one shot prompting. Okay, for better response from the AI, and it should be consistent every time. And it also provides like in accuracy, like it basically improve accuracy of our response. Okay, as I told, consistent format is one of the advantage of one shot prompting, like minimal overload. Like AI is not going to think more about like how we have to respond. We have provided one example, based on that they can simply fetch data and responses back. Okay, they are not going to think much, like they are not going to use their token more on that part. Okay, it will be easier to understand because we have already taught like we need the data in that way, so it will be easier for user to understand. Okay, cost effective, I told, like when we provide some examples, so they are not going to think much, then the token usage will be less and it is very cost efficient. Okay, and pattern, like whatever pattern we need, we can just provide the pattern to model and they will respond back, right? So there are some best practice of one shot prompting. So basically we have to use a good representative example in order to get the actual and perfect response. Okay, keep the example quality high, so whenever we are giving the good example, then we are also expect good response from the AI. If we provide the bad like example, then expectation will be not good, okay, from the AI. So always give the good high quality example to the AI in order to one shot prompting. Okay, correct labeling and all we can do, some input domains we can provide, like how much, like what tone we are going to use in the response. Okay, that's all. And so transformation, as I showed, like you can transfer your response based on your requirement. So this is the process. Okay, and when come to the when we have to use the one shot prompting, so like when we basically need format thing, when we need like template based generation of some response, some limited domain tasks we have to check. Okay, some quality improvement, we need to optimize the tokenization usage of our AI models, right? And some specific pattern we need to follow. In that case we can use this one shot prompting. Okay, so these are the difference like among zero shot, one shot and few shot, we will see later. But anyways, like one shot prompting consistency is quite good from the zero shot prompting. Okay, so that's you have to understand. So yeah, and that's all about the one shot prompting. So let's see our next video for the few shot prompting. Till then, bye.